At first glance, looking at the packaging, AEW do an amazing job. Jazwares do an amazing job with their specialty packaging. I mean, just that on the back there, that's prime for getting like an autograph on or something along those lines. The Blood and Guts series is great with all the blood all over the action figures, especially getting a Thunder Rosa, which this is going on my Lucha Underground shelf. I'm a huge Lucha Underground fan. She was in Lucha Underground for a while, therefore she makes the shelf, and as soon as I saw this announced, I knew I had to get it. But let's open her up. We've got a few heads and some hands and some soft goods in this, so this looks like it's going to be a beautiful figure. This unboxed a lot easier than the Pentagon Ultimate Edition. Buyer beware. If you are getting some of the Ultimate Editions, they do not unbox easily. So a nice little detail, they've got the St. Patrick's Day Slam logo on the back of the box right there, which I think that looks pretty good. That's where this match took place, and I appreciate how specific Jazwares gets with the AEW, packaging and stuff like that. And my first impression is that this is an absolute knockout figure. I'm very strategic with my AEW figures because it is quite pricey getting them from overseas, and this one is everything that I was hoping for and more. So gotta be careful opening up. Mine is starting to come apart at the waist. Just trying to get it out of the box. Wow, it just popped off straight away. I'm hoping that this just clips back in. These AEW ones do seem to be pretty good at that. Okay, just clip back in, but that's always a concern with the AEW Jazwares figures is, are you going to be able to, is there going to be any like legs popping off, arms popping off? All right, let's check this one out. So other than that, the limbs all feel pretty good. The legs especially feel pretty good. I find they're a little bit dicey with the Jazwares sometimes. Got two bits of articulation in the midsection, up and down. The head is obviously fully articulated. Are these double jointed? These are double jointed pinned joints. They haven't quite caught up to the pinless, it seems, which is a shame because I do really appreciate pinless. The elbows on these are actually maybe not loose, but they're very much they're very easy to move, put it that way. I love the attire on this as well, the green kind of snakeskin looking attire. I just think that's a fantastic look for Thunder Rosa. But looking at the three different heads that I've got here, the standard looking head is okay, it looks a little bit plain. But then the ones with the blood both look amazing. Different levels of blood across the two. It would have been nice if the blood maybe went into the hair a little bit more as well. You can see it kind of cuts off at the hairline. But they look great. The teeth exposed. The paint application on these heads is both pretty good as far as I can see. I don't see any real inconsistencies across any of the heads, but I've got to go with the one with the most blood on it. I mean, she's covered in blood right here, so I think the bloody head is definitely what probably most people will use to pose this one. Now, this is a little bit weird with the hands because there are two designs. I don't know if they're just supposed to be blood splatter, but they appear to only be on the left and right fisted hands. If I have a look at the other hands, they don't have this red splat on there, but the splatter also doesn't go up to the wrist guard either. So I like the idea, but maybe they could execute it a little bit better, just make it a bit of blood on the knuckles. Good to see some gripping hands in there as well. They really don't spare any expense. I mean, this isn't a Supreme Edition figure or anything like that, but it's definitely got a few more bells and whistles than, your average unrivaled or unleashed wave figure. Just having a look at the paint application on the figure, this is damn near perfect. You got a little bit of cheeky cheeks going on at the back there. This looks absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that I waited for this. Her tattoos look amazing as well. Articulation doesn't give you quite as much sort of options as like the Marvel Legends figures, for example, but she stands up okay. The waist is a problem though. That seems to really be having a hard time staying in, and the way that the feet articulate as well, it doesn't seem to really give me a great deal of like side to side. It should, but it doesn't really. You have to, yeah, it's kind of weird. And the this joint here is pretty loose as well, which is a little bit of a problem, I won't lie. So it's definitely not without its flaws, but all the flaws on this are just technical things with the you know, the amount of give there is with the joints. So this soft good flag is kind of like sticky taped into the plastic. I don't know if I'm doing this the right way or the wrong way, but I feel like I gotta be really careful while removing this from the flag. It is leaving a little something on the sticky tape. I don't know if it's paint or if it's like ink or if it's just from the adhesive, but this is just really not a very ideal way to do it. So it doesn't look like there's any real way to pose her with this thing. I guess you could just sort of like, you know, stuff it in her hand, but I don't want to sort of crease up the flag too much. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that flag, but yeah, that could go with the Rey Mysterio, that could go with the Santos Escobar figure as well. So I think I'm going to leave that aside, and I'm just going to get Thunder Rosa with the Gift of the Gods Championship. Overall, this figure looks absolutely amazing, but as a bit of a habit with the AEW figures, there seems to be a lot of looseness to the joints, and I think they were having an issue with too much stiffness in the joints in the past, and maybe they've overcorrected a little bit. I know that this company's going to sort of find the right balance and fix these problems, and she stands up great. She looks absolutely amazing. It's Thunder Rosa. She's covered in blood. What more could you want? You've been looking at the figure photography there. This thing is an absolute masterpiece. I definitely recommend.